Hey, welcome back to Spilled Ink, the Comics Wellspring live drawing show where we're spilling ink and spilling the tea. As always, I'm your host, Brandon Bloxdorf, and I'm super hyped for this week because we are hyperforcing it once again, carrying off of last week. Really because we had our guests split up the 2 weeks, so I didn't want to leave them hanging. So we're just doing this for fun. But I'm super hyped for everyone that we're going to be talking to tonight. But first, we have my amazing, astonishing, wonderful, magnificent co-host. Max Flowers. Hello, Max.
Hello.
Hey, Max, as always, I'm excited to see what you're doing. And you're doing the character of the Forest King from HyperForce, which I'm super excited for.
Yep.
And then we have let's see who's go actually the man of the hour. We're talking about Jay Red, who's drawing issue 2 of HyperForce. I'm super hyped for him being with Apollo and drawing the book and for this book to come out. You're almost funded, 1,300, 200 away. Hello, Jay. How are you today?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on again.
Of course, dude. I'm always hyped to hang out with you because your art's so awesome. That image is already so exciting, dude. I can't wait to see what you do.
Oh,
That's
thanks, man.
sick. And then we have another bestie of besties, the one and only, the man who can see but who can't see, the magnificent Doug Knight. Hello, Doug.
I think you're getting better at your introductions, dude.
Oh, thank you.
This makes
Making it up
perfect.
as I
Hi,
go.
everybody. I'm actually stoked because I feel like this is like the closest that Jay and I have come to like actually hanging out. Yep.
Right?
So this is fun, and we known each other like technically for like 3-4 years now.
That's right. Not just DMs
Oh, man.
anymore.
No,
Out of the DMs and into the
yeah,
hangs. Yeah, dude.
this is like a
Sick.
like a pandemic date.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
man, it's cool to be here.
this is a fun cast of characters. I was preparing everything and I forgot to drop the link in the usual spot, so I'm gonna do that real quick before we start. Um, but yeah, this was a fun. I knew tonight was gonna be fun because of everyone coming in. I didn't realize you guys didn't hang out that much, like in general, but I
Well,
guess we're
we
super busy
talk pretty
chatting.
regularly, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, when do you ever like, hey man, you want to go live? Like, it just doesn't
Yeah,
ever cross your mind. I think like it always attributes to the fact that we're all like solitary creatures, and like we get so used to working alone and stuff that when you realize that like there's opportunities for friendship and diversification and stuff, you're like, you know, you miss the boat completely.
Good way
that's
to
very
put it.
true. Well, while we start, both of you guys have Kickstarters going on right now. Jay, why don't you tell us about your current Kickstarter that you're a part of?
Yeah, so I drew the second issue of Hyperforce for Adam, or sorry, for Adam Matthew Smith, and he is close to funding. It's on Kickstarter right now. Hyperforce 1 through 2. A lot of cool stuff on there, so everybody should check it out. Yeah.
Sorry, can I just add in there? You didn't draw it; you slaughtered it. If you guys want to see like murder on a page, Jay should be going to jail because it's insane.
It
Thanks,
is
man.
beautiful. Um,
No, seriously, like
what?
I'm sorry. I one more little bit of air in the tires. The I'm always like every time you post something, I see like the screens and stuff that you use. That's smart. You're an intelligent illustrator, dude.
It's a hack, but yeah,
It's good.
Oh, like how so? Break that down
it's
for
like
us.
it's like it can be a time-saving hack, or it can just fill a space where I don't know what to put something like, and I don't want to draw a super intricate background. I'm like, oh, I can just do some screens back here.
Yeah, but you
I'm
don't you
on.
don't use it. You don't use it in a way that like where like it does like you use it in an intelligent enough way that it looks like you had the design sense to drop it where it's got to go. So I think that's what
Thank you.
separates it from the other stuff.
I appreciate that.
I hope you do. 4.99 checks in the mail.
Um, Hyperforce is such a interesting series too, because it's a bunch of like anti-heroes and everything. So it's just super wild. And Adam Matthew Smith is it's one of his creations he like conceived for like a long time and just tried to come to life, and he's making it happen. And it's really cool to watch like seeing a book like this, get funded and and someone who just believes in it so much, and finding the right squad to do it can be difficult when you're making comics. And I think Jay and Bob Little are just like some of the missing ingredients in that, and it's been super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot about Bob
Bob's
Little.
Bob's killing it on the colors. They look awesome.
He's a fellow Canadian.
That's right.
Yeah, our boy.
He's
Bob.
actually, I think, about an hour and 40 minutes away from me. Our paths haven't crossed yet, but he's also one of those there's like, dude, Ontario, like there, I don't know. You find out some dudes live like not far from you, and you're like, dang, I didn't know that.
What?
Well,
Mike Del Mundo is like around, like he's a 20-minute drive from me. Like it's crazy, man.
That's
You'd be
cool.
proud of
That's
me,
rad.
Doug. I've been watching Shorzy.
Oh, that's all right. That's like a whole different brand of English. Hockey talk.
Yeah, dude. I've been watching tons of Shorzy.
I thought it was a write-off, and then I totally got sucked into it, and then I realized that my Canadian like twang is nowhere near as bad as everybody else hears it.
I know, like Bob's. I forget that he even he's Canadian until a few words slip out, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Found it. Typically, is it just sorry and thank you?
Yeah, honestly. Charlie Ragnarok. Hey, Charlie. She says, yo,
Hey.
yo, yo. And Jay, that pen looks so cool. What pen are you using tonight, Jay?
I was using a nib, but it was acting up on me, so now I'm using a one of these synthetic brushes,
Nice.
like where you fill the barrel with ink, but I'm just dipping it. I don't fill the barrel.
Oh, dude, I did that at a show. I ran out of like ink in the barrel of the little refill thing, and I like went and I had a commission, and I was looking around for anything, and it was Edmonton, so I was next or not far from Adrian Caleric, and I was like, dude, you got any ink? He's like, yeah, man, here. He gave me like his little bottle of wash. I just like half filled the water bottle. I was just dipping and brushing with like I felt like at the time you're like life hack, and then you realize that it's just underpreparedness.
Oh, yeah. No, and Reese Jenkins says, awesome work, guys. Hey, what up, Reese?
Reese.
What's up,
Hello.
Reese? Reese's new book is looking really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Reese's project looks like if the creators of the Boondocks like just went full action. Like whenever they used to do like the action sequences and stuff, I feel like Reese draws so much energy from like that influence of like anime. I love it.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, Reese is killing it. His Kickstarter's going to launch pretty soon. Pretty hyped.
Yeah, man. Oh, speaking of Kickstarters,
Yeah, let's talk about yours, Doug.
I think it's kind of like mostly mine, but you got a little skin in the game too.
I'm a little dip in there. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you got some honorable mention. So I got Cross-Eye Comics 2025 is currently live. I jumped the gun. It was supposed to launch today, and this was going to be my big media day, but someone planted a Tuesday bug in my head, and I just had to hit it early. So it's good, man. I set like a super reasonable goal, and about 70% there. I got Super Wicked White Cell Squadron Volume 1 on there. I got Chiasm, and then I'm rolling all 3 issues of Chiasm into a Volume 1. So it's going to be fun. And then that's what I'm working on the cover for that. I'm going to do a full wrap cover. And then we're launching Apocalypse Now, and that's co-produced by our good friend here, Brandon Bloxdorf of Apollo City Comics. And then so that's like, where White Cell Squadron's all ages, feel good, Captain Planet, Power Rangers, like, everybody loves it, 90s cartoon, and Chiasm's like the feels with childhood cancer battling and, sci-fi, dark horror, body humor, all that jazz. And Apocalypse Now is just smashing zombies and ska music. It's just fun. Like, I explained it yesterday as like, when you ask a teenager how their day was, and they go, that's kind of my spiel for Apocalypse Now, is just like, it is what it is. It's zombies and it's ska. You either love it or get bent,
I love
Um,
that. I love that explanation so much.
yeah, man,
Um,
because it's just like though it's about letting go of the seriousness of it and just making freaking comics, and that's the vibe. I sat down with the dude the other day and he flipped through it, and like this guy's like accomplished, and like he's just looking at it, just shaking. He's like, dude, this looks like so much fun, and it is.
honestly, it's going to be the first video game Policy Comics comes out with. You know what I mean? Like it's top
Apox
tier.
works now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that'd be
gotta
so
be.
sick, man. You do like
Yeah,
the like rage sequence is just like a horn line, like Voodoo Glow Skulls
yeah,
pops up and
dude.
just that'd be so rad. Let's go.
That'd be so sick. Yeah, we got to find some video game developers and get
It's
onto
like it's
this.
like
Like
Tony Hawk's
it's
Pro Skater, man.
exactly what I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking, Max. To the
Totally.
T. I was yes,
A-
100%.
And
Right
then
on.
toss in a bit of Brutal Legend, so you got to like bust out a Guitar Hero controller to like finish
Yes,
any of the combos and
dude.
stuff.
That'd be amazing. I love that game so much. I replayed it not too long ago.
Brutal Legend.
Yeah, dude, I love that game. It is you give Lemmy being the string guy, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
so amazing.
yeah. Okay, so my one beef with that game was I'm terrible at RTS. It's just like I feel like the crisis management in me goes into overdrive. So I'm like I'm no good with this. So that was the only part that let lag for me, but everything else was sick. It was one of the first games where he's like, oh, the animation is so good.
Oh, we got Mike Sears popping in. Mike, once you're set up, just give you a thumbs up and we'll let you in. No rush at all. Yeah, dude,
What's
that game is
what's the
just
most people you've had in here at a time?
I think we had like 6 when we had the Cosmic Lion people on here one night.
That's a good
That's
group of
cool.
dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. Love those guys so much. Um, but yeah, we
Eli's
try to
launching
we
too.
try to bring a lot of
I was just gonna say Eli's launching something too soon too. I saw.
oh yeah. Yeah, those guys are always up to something. Eli's amazing. Let me see here.
So
Oh,
I
Mike, you want
like.
me to let you in? We'll bring in Mike Sears right now. Let's bring him to the mix. Hey, what up, Mike?
Hey,
Hey,
what's
Mike.
up? I just got off work. I saw the invite for it said 6:30. I thought that was mountain time because over here it's like 4:30.
I'm
Oh,
doing
no
that tonight.
worries. Yeah, no worries. Super hyped that you're here, dude. We're really excited to hang out with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Mike, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you live in an alternate universe where like time moves like in a specifically like different direction? Because I swear to God, you have the most insane output of anybody I know.
Yeah, it's called Pueblo, Colorado. There really ain't nothing much else to do out here, so that's literally
is that-
all I
is
do
it-
is draw.
One of those weird magnetic pole things that happens between mountains combining. You just got like this perfect little spot where like, you just warp and bend time as you need it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been kind of paused on a lot of stuff, mainly because work, but right now I have 3 things I'm working on. Got a Mouseman comic. The Mouseman comic is going to be split up into like little bite-sized pieces, like 6-10 pages. And the guy I'm working on that for, do you remember that old 80s like anthology comic that would come out like bi-monthly or once a month called Critters?
No.
That almost sounds familiar.
It was like the original like furry comics. It's where like Usagi Yojimbo and stuff started.
Oh wow.
So he's gonna put together something like that where it's like an anthology of like comics, because he does something like that now called the Sunday Jam, where it's like each artist does 1 page, but instead of just 1 page, it'll be like a little 10-page short story. You can have a continuing story or something like that. And that guy also gave me an idea for the 3rd thing that I'm working on, and that's a comic based off the game Postal.
I remember you telling us about this.
Yeah. I've been working on it technically since December. I honestly should have. Well, fuck. Hang on. Since like either July or August of last year, and mainly I should have kept my mouth shut until I got this game finished because it's just adding more shit onto my plate. But going back and forth because it's postal. Like, you don't know. I don't really know how to do a convincing postal comic other than either coming up with something entirely new, which would be the best thing, but the guy I'm working on it with wants to do an adaptation of Postal 2, which is kind of an immersive sim. It's kind of like each player will play it a different way, and having it adapted by two assholes that just want to have it like a certain way, unless there's enough new stuff there to like compensate for the fact that it rips away all the choice that a game gives you, I don't really think it's going to work. So I'm probably going to get some of the Postal fan base together, because the community is everything with those games, and find some artists in there. And each day of the week, because those games are split up, like the first level is Monday, the second one's Tuesday, and each one, cool. Like issue 1, which is going to be Monday, will be me and Ryan and however many artists essentially winging it and doing the most out there shit we can possibly think of. That's the only way I know how to do it to make it actually feel authentic to the brand.
I don't say anything about anybody that I wouldn't say to their face. So I gotta tell you, every time I talk about you to anybody, these guys can all attest to it. My comment usually like revolves around, Mike's not here right now because he's busy producing like 25 pages in the last 6 hours. Like, yeah. Your output, like there are times where like I'm staggered. I work quick and I'm efficient, but like you'll put up stuff like, oh, hey guys, I took 3 days off and I put together this 500-page illustrative, explanation of why neurosis in cartoon characters is important for the world. And you're just like, I'll put down my pencil and walk away.
I love that.
Okay, I'm gonna spill some ink, gentlemen, friends, wild people. All right, shall I brush it or shall I use my pigment liner?
Brush it.
I'm gonna bust out the brush. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right. So I'm working on the like full spread, but like I've been starting to take more mind and leaving my space. Like a double-sided cover I'm working on, but I want to leave like space for remarks and for like the forward of the book and whatever. So I've got like large spaces on the back that I can fill with words about stuff that means something in the book. And I'm going to leave enough like ambient space in the front so that like I can do cool remarks and people pick it up, because apparently that's a thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, I picked that one up from Kevin Delgado. He's like, dude, do a good job, but like always leave room for remarks. I was like, oh, that's smart, Mr. Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's mastered a lot of that cover stuff, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's the thing. Like this whole comic game. I did Toronto Comic Con a couple weeks ago. I know you guys know that. I'm just letting the audience know because that's what you're supposed to do. And I was like just working on. I got this cool opportunity to remark the issue of Spawn that was dedicated to me when I was 12. Yeah. And so like this whole like wild thing's going on, and then like this dude walks up, he's like, "Oh, do you know that issue is super rare because it only had this many newsstand editions and blah 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 blah." I was like, "Cool story, bro." As I was like working away or whatever, and then I like looked up because I talked to everybody, obviously. And he's like, "Oh yeah, my name's Jeff." And I'm like, "Jeff?" He's like, "Yeah, Jeff Monk." I'm like, "Yo, I know you."
Oh, Jeff Monk, yeah.
We've gone back and forth a couple times, man. And so like we'd talked online a lot, and then But yeah, it was cool, man. It was such a cool organic way to meet somebody. And that's when I realized that like, doing the con circuit is like, if you really network and you meet these people, like everybody, not just these people, but like you meet so many cool people by just putting yourself out there. It's sick.
Yeah.
Hard.
Honestly,
it's like,
it's hard. It's exhausting.
But
it's exhausting.
Oh my God.
A day. Yeah, I do it.
I still go back to for the audience, Mark Bernal, Brandon and I, we first met up in Oaks, Pennsylvania for that Geekdom Con. And I was like, we all had experience like conventioning and stuff, but I think that's the first. Was it like an 11-hour day or something? They like extended the show time on one of the day, and like we had enough water, but we did not have enough brain power or like food to keep us going. And so by the end of that day, I remember just being like dog meat, just like. But it was fun being there with homies because it was, you know, if you can laugh through the day, it's great.
Yeah, that's the best thing about surviving conventions and whatnot. Like the people you're around, that energy is gonna be what keeps you going.
Yeah, and good neighbors. Having good neighbors makes that environment so much better.
So much better.
TCC was sick. I got to sit beside this incredible writer named Mark. Also, it's funny, Mark and writers, eh? What's up with that? And then my buddy Dave Pretorius. And so it's just like it was cool.
Oh, Dave's cool. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. And then I realized that apparently I have a penchant for adopting ginger artist friends.
Oh my gosh. How so? What's wrong? What's up with Dave?
What's up with Dave? Dave's sick, man.
Yeah.
Dave's got a book that he let his 9-year-old write, and then he did all the art for it. And it's just like, my favorite part about it isn't just like the working with your kid thing. It was
working with your kid. I heard something totally different. All right, yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, sorry. The way that he handled it so respectfully when people would come over and like ask about it, he just like give his son full credit and be like, you know, oh, these are originals. So like, you know, if he's here, he could probably orchestrate the deal, but I'm not going to speak out. Like, it was just, I was like, man, that's good. My son did the artwork. I'd sell it for so much money.
Yeah. Vibes, dude. That's super cool though. I love Dave. He was awesome on the show. I can't wait to bring it back.
Yeah, man. And then so Mike, you're in Colorado.
Oh, we lost you for a second, Doug.
Okay. So am I here?
In the
Am I
meantime, yeah, you're here. Yeah,
okay.
You're here.
Actually,
Mike, why don't you tell us all about Mouseman? Like, I think the audience needs to know about that book. It's so great.
Mouseman, the one that's out now, the Apathetic Mouseman, it's kind of a proof of concept. Really, the one that I'm working on now has some stuff to do with it, but not really. You're not gonna have to read that one to know what's going on in this one. But pretty much, it came from I kind of went, you know, did it as I go, because that's pretty much how I draw comics. I do not use a script at all. The most I'll do is I'll take a note or I'll draw a picture and I'll be like, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to build a whole comic around this picture, either put it in the middle or build up to it. I just kind of go and let my brain do all of it. But it is mainly about what it's like, or it was going to be about, because I never finished it, because there was a lot of stuff going on, and that was around the time like commissions and stuff started like popping off. But mainly it's about being in the South, like the Bible Belt area, and all of the horrible hypocrisies that lie therein. And that is also going to play a lot into the stuff with this Mouseman comic. But essentially it came from like a lot of my experiences and a lot of like so many other people's experiences. It's not just like one thing. I'm pretty sure you could sit it in front of anyone who's from that general area and they'll get a chuckle out of it, or it'll give them a Vietnam flashback. But yeah, that's essentially where it started, was attempting to have like a story saying what a lot of that's like everyone's kind of high, or the people that aren't used to be, and then they deny it. Nobody really likes one another. They all feel like they're stuck there. And it's like the perfect like kind of comedy that writes itself, because most comedy has a bunch of people stuck in a room together and nobody likes each other. So it just kind of writes itself.
It's amazing, actually. It's a good way to look at it.
And sorry, Mike, did you say that's based off of personal experiences or just from your perspective of like how things are?
Both. because that's where I grew up. I kind of grew up in the South, like out in the middle of nowhere, and after being around a lot of people that was from around that, like my parents, my mom, and my stepdad, and stuff like that. Over time, the story just kind of wrote itself, because it's always just like it was sort of like the existential crisis comic that I'd been building up to since every comic I've pretty much done was there's always that proverbial existential crisis in it.
I love that so
And
much.
Do you
why I
mind?
started
Do you mind
doing.
if I? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I would say that's why I started doing a book. It was gonna be called Anxiety Boy, but now it's called Apollo Prime and the. But like it's just like one of those things where you kind of like put yourself into it and you kind of warp the universe a bit, and that's like the fun thing about it.
What a terrible idea
Yeah.
for a book.
I love it. Oh, you do Tanner's drawing it. Oh man, it's like a comic strip
No,
style.
I'm kidding, man. You're
I feel
talking
like
to Chiasm
oh yeah,
guy.
yeah, exactly. But you sorry, I was like spaced out too. Um, it's one of those things like putting yourself into that. Sometimes it's kind of like I mean, kind of with chiasm too. You know, like you kind of need a book of freedom like that to kind of
Totally.
just get stuff out.
There's points in chiasm that when I was working on, I remember like I actually had to like set it down for a couple days and walk away because like I did it and like I started tearing up. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what's happening here? I don't cry. What is this? And then, but it's just like I'd like sit back down and go back to work on it, and then like it would hit again. You're like, whoa, what's going on? And then you realize that everybody needs therapy.
Yeah.
Mike, do you mind if I ask like what like denomination were you surrounded by? Like, was it like one of those like snake churches with, like healing poison and stuff?
Oh, was that a question for me?
Yeah. I thought we hit Fight Club territory. Like we don't talk about that.
Oh. Could you ask it again? I kind of zoned out into my artwork for a second.
Yeah, it's all good. I said like what was it like a unconventional denomination that you were part of? Like one of those like healing snake venom churches or something where like people get vipers thrown at them, or was it just like, Bible Belt stuff?
No, I was raised Catholic, and a lot of my friends who were also raised Catholic, like Catholic, as one who was like raised as one and been around a lot, who also stopped going, I can honestly say Catholics are just a little flaky, just a little bit. Man. And it was mainly like my mom was the one that introduced it. Like my dad is technically a Christian, but he never really went to church all that often, except when he was younger and when he got with my mom. But she was not a Christian at all. Like she had a very like messed up childhood, and her dad hated Christians of any kind at all. And to get back at him or to find some sense of truth, she decided to become a Christian because my dad hates it and I hate my dad, so this must be good. So it was
there's worse things that she could have done.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did do a lot of worse things. Like that's kind of like what was like being poured out into the book, or what's going to be poured out into this one.
I love that.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, honestly, comics are like such a form of therapy to a big extent too. Sometimes you kind of need that.
Yeah,
I mean that's why we do a lot of this. Oh, Reese Jenkins just said, "Me too, Mike. That's how me and Nate work. No script. Yeah, that blows my mind. I don't know how to work without a script. I need a whole outline and game plan. So I admire
I
that
think
a lot.
it's as you get confidence with your artist, like your illustration abilities, and like you've got that trust between your brain and like what you're trying to express, then you can fill in the words after. Is like
that's your
just
script
part of the art.
basically. Like you've that's your outline. You know what I mean? Your artwork is what you're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
You want someone to put into words. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's punching that guy. Ouch.
Yeah. And then Adam Matthew Smith, raised Catholic too. Yeah, same here, man. Fucking vibes resonate so much with that.
Yep. Well, I mean, chiasm zero. It's all about. I went to Catholic school, and my grade 7 teacher told me that like it was during like a real tumultuous time with like my medical journey, And my grade 7 teacher was going through something in her family, and she's like, "And now let's pray for so and so because we all know that the only way out of cancer is death." And I remember just being like, "Oh, oh, they didn't tell me that," and it like it screwed me up enough to make her a bad guy in my comic book. But
Yeah, Jesus, it's
but
horrific.
it's one of those things where it's like you can dwell on it, or you can turn her into an evil character and have an
Yeah.
eyeball attack. You know.
Honestly, yeah, seriously. Like,
Yeah,
I could be doing other things, you know? This is the most non-violent, therapeutic way I could go about this.
Totally.
those are honestly the best villains to write. Like the kind
Yeah.
of villains that are like based off of people that were like shitty. Especially when you grow up and you realize that these people were also people and shitty things happen to them, but that
Yeah.
makes them sort of sympathetic, but it also makes them worse because how could you go through that and then put somebody else through it knowing
Yep.
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting too is I think that like especially creative individuals, like you paint these pictures of those people in your head. So when it comes to like illustrating them, it's a really strong tool to be able to like manipulate the really like exaggerated. Like I'm sure everybody had a vice principal that they can draw to like look like a hook nose mustachio, psychopath. Like and it's just like because as a child, that's when you're most influenced. Everybody's taller than you, everybody's longer, everybody's got like when they're robust, like they probably feel like they're 5 miles wide. So it's like I think to really be able to like dig deep in the past the trauma and like capitalize on that is a great illustration tool.
That's very true, too.
But what
Yeah,
do I know?
it's. Did you see the Happy Happy Joy Joy thing? The thing about Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, I haven't watched it
No.
yet. I've wanted to, though.
What's it on?
I found it free on YouTube, but it's like
It's streaming somewhere right now. I forgot.
yeah, it's either on Paramount Plus or free with ads
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Something like that.
I think. But there was Robin Bird, one of the girls that John Kay got with, was quoted as saying, "I firmly believe that really good art can come from pain, but you don't have to cause pain to create really good art."
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
True.
I like
True.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Lynch said that too, like some along those lines. And I was like, that is like, you don't need to be sad to make something sad. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that's very true. Yeah.
Well, also, I recently kind of came across the notion of like, especially as indie creators, like writing something that is a relatable like tale to you that allows you to like learn how to communicate that to people that want to be fans of you is a very strong way of getting the confidence to step outside of that and then start writing from perspectives that you're not comfortable with. So once you exhaust all the angles of like telling your story, that's when you can kind of start branching out and writing from different perspectives and lifestyles. And I think that's a very strong thing to do.
Oh yeah, like that's actually gotten easier and easier, especially when I left home and started getting to know people and I started to like understand people a bit more cuz I kind of have a touch of the spiciness. So I'm very bad at like talking and going for like a long periods of time, but I'm really good at like writing very convincing characters. Especially like I also started seeing a therapist or counselor, not a therapist, and it gets easier and easier like to like make a character, put them through something and know enough about your experiences and other people's experience to say, oh, if somebody goes through this and they're like this, it'll be like this is probably how they'll react.
Love that. Very true. I love that though.
Oh,
Really
how
quick,
many
so
of us
also,
were? Go ahead.
oh yeah, catch up on the chat real fast. Life on Saturn, damn, so many great creators at once, dude. Thank you so much. What's up, Tom?
Said by an incredible creator.
Yeah, dude, Dom and Lydia, just amazing. I'm hyped to see him in New York next month. We're gonna try to hang out.
Right about
Or
it.
this month. It's already this month. It's April. Wow. Chatty Ragnarok. I got that good old Catholic guilt vibes.
Yeah.
Lots of guilt. Everyone, Madam Matthew, lots of guilt. Aaron Lee. So great to see everyone drawing. Dude, thanks for popping in, Aaron. We gotta get you on the show again. Tubi, great doc. Adam Matthew Smith. Yeah, Tubi's probably where I saw it. To be honest.
How many people
Stuff.
were in the It's a Horror Show anthology here?
Here right now, like in this
Yeah,
room.
did you not have anything in there?
Yeah, I had something in there. I think only you and me and Max.
So 3 out of 5 people.
Yeah.
That's pretty good odds.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I
I
forget,
bought a
like it's
copy.
out.
Does that count?
There you go. There you go. It's so hard to remember what Max and I are involved with because we have
Because
just
you're
a
just
stupid amount of
writing.
crap. Yeah. Let's see.
You post and ghost it.
No, we went through so many books at once this year. Like we put
Yeah.
out 4 anthologies in 3 months. However that added up, you know. I'm really
Y'all be
excited.
prolific.
I'm excited to slow down for the next couple months, though. That's gonna be.
Are you
Nice.
slowing down to work on something more focused, or are you just slowing down just to chill, catch up on work, fulfill my US backers?
Because we have really big projects coming up, and we have to focus a little bit. So we're gonna be announcing something on Monday night when I interview the head of Comix, Sam Cusack of Kickstarter. We're going to be interviewing here, Inspired Ink Live, where you guys could ask questions to Sam, talk about Kickstarter. We're going to get all the secrets from Kickstarter Monday night.
Nice.
I'm really excited for that conversation.
Me
And
too.
I've already prepped a lot of our topics and sent it to their team. So I'm really excited to just talk to them and just get some of these answers.
Just
And,
politics and religion, right?
Yeah, dude, for reals. So tell me about tariffs. Let's talk about that. Well,
Hey, there's no tariff on friendship.
No, there's no tariff on CWS because we use all American products in general, and we're an American company. So you guys are safe printing with us. We're not increasing prices at all. We're trying
And
to
I checked it
decrease
out today.
prices.
I checked it out today. I believe Canada is still covered under the Canada, America, Mexico trade majigger. So it should cause less stress for the fulfillment of Canadian printing through there as well.
Ooh, nice.
So that was good.
That's
I was pretty stressed. Somebody named Jay planted the seed in my head last night, and I was like, I guess I should do this research, huh? So I did, and luckily enough, like. Nah. Sounds like a very concerned backer, and I appreciate all feedback from anybody that participates in my campaigns. And it's my duty as a responsible campaign runner to answer and deal with all issues coming my way. So there you go.
Very responsible of you.
Adulting, baby.
I feel like this pen is just not pinning.
I'm gonna tell you guys something about drawing tumor monsters.
Look, I got too excited. So Monday night we're gonna talk to Sam Cusack from Kickstarter. We're gonna announce something very, very exciting that evening during the show, and that is one of the many things that's making me slow down. Just a hint for Apollo. But then we're gonna be hitting it hard, probably with 2 releases in June. Probably a release in July, and then August, I think. And Max doesn't even know this. He's hearing it first. I think we're going to run the Kickstarter for Teenage Babylon #1 in August.
No way.
I'm really hyped. I'm going to put like a 2K goal so I could pay Christian for all this work and Max for his work and all this shit. So pay your artists. So I'm really excited. I talked to Christian today, and so we put some timelines on the book. And dude, I mean, Teenage Babylon 0 is beautiful, but Teenage Babylon #1, it is insane. I can't wait for you guys to all see it. I'm so excited. But yeah, and then we have a bunch of stuff coming up this year. We're actually going to be creating a new content calendar because we have so many books coming out. We're going to have multiple releases at once. So we have to calculate like, if this type of book is on Kickstarter, we don't want to have another book like this compete with it. So you have to put something totally opposite,
Well, I think that was a really strong model that Mark kind of laid out for everybody at the early days of LKC was like keeping that in mind for market saturation.
Yeah.
And I think that it's such a strong practice moving forward is just like keeping it in good conscience. Like if you got a lot of plate spinning, kind of like Cross-Eye 25, like that's like the whole deal there is like I'm printing something for everybody, like from the 7-year-old that wants to get into comics to the the 6-year-old that still remembers why second wave ska was the best, so it's good. It's good to be able to like recognize spreading it out and spacing it out and giving
Yeah.
breath
What
between
you're
your
doing
stuff.
isn't in competition to Family Man, and it's not really in competition to Hyperforce either, because Hyperforce is
Totally.
already so deep in comparison.
Yep.
Pacing out campaigns is another thing that's good. And yeah, like we want to make sure Hyperforce does well so Jay could get paid, and that's where a lot of
That's right.
our campaign money goes to. That's right.
Right. And then there's me. I launch it because like I don't know. That's the reason why I swing a hammer and sling ink and stuff is like because the comics it's the fun and the love. So it's like I just want to fund the print run. I know that the cash will come from conventions and sketch covers sell really
Yep.
well and stuff. So like being the creator, owner, drawer, insane person, I just want to get that print money and then get obviously for me the principal concern is getting books printed, but then next thing is getting books to kids in hospitals and stuff. So it's like there's a little bit more on the line for that because I feel like if I don't hit a number per year, I'm failing like my own goals. But like it's not about. I mean, as an artist, you gotta get that profit and make that money and stuff. But I think that as the one that's like, I'll do it myself, you also need to realize that like you're a long way away from breaking even. This is passion, like.
Yeah.
But then you find people that are like, I want to pay you, and you're like, okay, please do.
Yeah, I think that's why we work out so many deals with our artists. Like we have really good relationships get built before we commit to a book, and so there's a lot of
Yeah.
love and trust, and there's a very shared vision on these books. And that's what kind of helps us like at least make it and produce it so we could figure out finances, and also realizing like, oh, if I pay you in books, that's a little bit
Mhm.
easier on me, and then you're gonna make way more money that way too. Like,
Totally.
because if you
But
pay
you also
them,
need
you
to
pay them in print price. That's another
yeah.
thing. People
You
forget
you
that.
got to
Some people
also
pay in print.
realize like you got to work with people that understand why that's a good deal too, right? Like, because I've been at it enough time now, so I had like an interesting experience where I work on a project and like payment is still withstanding on it and stuff, but like when you talk about it with people that like don't get it, they're like, oh man, that sucks. You gonna sue? You gonna like take the windows out of their house? Like, what are you gonna do? And then like you say it to someone that's been in comics for like 15, 20 years, and they just kind of chuck like, sounds like comics,
Yeah, yeah, honestly, yeah. Yeah. It's not like the writers have much more money than anyone else right now,
No.
It's one of those things too.
And I think it's
But
also kind of it's like living on your own in the sense of like sometimes it's good just to get yourself in a sketchy situation to see how you can get yourself out of it.
yeah, I get what
Like
you mean there, yeah.
just like a business sensibility only comes by
Experience.
learning value and like the position that you want to be in. Like, what are you worth, and what's the sacrifice you're willing to take on the deal, and what's the long-term gain out of it? Like, what opportunities or avenues is it going to open up for you if the financial opportunity doesn't exactly work out for you? And like, most of the time, just getting an opportunity to make a comic, if you have your own stuff going on or you don't have anything going on, you still have an opportunity to make a comic. So it's like you sit down, you figure out some stuff, you do some new techniques, find out what works, find out what's not good for you, and learn from that. And then if you don't get paid, then you made a goddamn comic. So shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, just do it again.
But also fight for your money if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
Also
gotta pay
try to
bills.
make it right.
Similac costs money. Similac is baby formula for all you non-parents.
Yeah, I knew what that
Thank
was.
you.
Or was it Satan costs dollars too? Satan.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, it
Satan.
does.
What?
Vital weak gluten.
Yeah. I was trying to explain that to somebody a while ago, and it just like my description of it was so bad. I was like, it's like this gummy, vegetarian, meaty, not meat thing, and they like make it in a baking sheet. My friend told me about it. It's legendary.
It's amazing. It's funny because you try to describe it to me. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
And then when you put it together, you're like, oh God, when he says it like that, I can't believe
Yeah.
I put that in my body.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, it's so funny. We're only 45
You
minutes
know,
in. I actually kind of went hard on it tonight.
The other day I was thinking about like the origin of foods and like who thought of doing things for the first time. You know what I mean? Like who was so hungry that they saw a giant insect crawling on the beach and they just like had to crack it open to find out that like there was delicious like meat on the inside, or like who decided that like they were so hungry that when they were done boiling the beans they were like, I'm gonna drink this water too. And then when everybody started bouncing off the walls, they're like, oh, this stuff works great for more than just eating beans, Like it's creativity. Do that with how you will.
Honestly, I love that so much. You're totally right. It is a trip.
Like coconuts, right? Like somebody walked past a coconut that fell and smashed, and it was just like, listen, no one's watching. I'm gonna go ahead, dig my fingers in here, and see what it tastes like. I've always wondered, like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, even
So what
just
does
like,
everybody here do for a day job?
I actually just juxtapose concepts about who ate shit for the first time.
Jesus Christ.
No, he's not here right now, Brandon. I do a couple things, Mike. I contract. Me and my dad have a couple renovations that we're always kind of managing. And then for the past 15 years, I've tattooed as well, but I've really slowed down with that now that comic books is picking up. But that's kind of it for me, man. Using my hands and making master plans.
I do graphic design for the day job.
Oh, nice. Well, you're making comics all day, huh? That makes sense.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
One day.
That's the goal, man.
Yep.
What about you, Max? What's your day profession? Your secret identity?
Shit, I've been muted for a while and didn't even notice.
That's amazing.
I'm just working fucking 9 to 5 regular jobs, man, right now. But I had a question for Jay about the graphic design stuff.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you find that doing your graphic design work like makes you creatively tired in any way, or like you find yourself not wanting to work on whatever because it's like, damn, I fucking do this all day for my work?
No, because they're so different. Like
Okay.
drawing and that stuff, that's all just clicking with a mouse and find the right font, and it's like a whole different side of the brain, I feel like.
Right.
So it makes it easier to like do like trade dress and lettering and stuff because I already know all that stuff from the day job, but the actual work, no, it's totally different.
Yeah, because for me, it's really nice to just like work whatever brain dead job, and then when I'm done, it's like cool. Now I can use all that creative energy that I've built up and thinking about these projects and stuff.
I've had similar experiences before where you sit on the job and like a homie's up 45 feet on a ladder and you just got to be the dummy that stands at the bottom and lets him know if he's tipping, and like you just start realizing that something inside of you is melting and you kill to be in front of a page, and then it like that totally builds up to like a 3 a.m. session, right?
Yeah.
That's when the good ideas come too, like when you're holding the ladder.
Yeah, and then you're sitting there chuckling maniacally because something just so obscene just crossed your mind, and the person whose life is in your hands is like, "What's so funny?" And you're like, you tell them, and they're just like, "Can you? You know what? I'll just take my chance with the strong breeze."
Right.
Yeah, this is the one thing about like working from home again. I have to adjust back to like when I was just like full-time Aldi, I feel like I was absorbing some stuff better, like creatively, like listening to audiobooks and just like growing, like daydreaming a little bit at work a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like now I'm talking to so many people so much, you kind of like don't stop working to an extent because you're just like, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just talking to people about comics and they're making their books. Like it's great, but like it's left me. I've had to adjust for
Yeah.
sure. There's definitely been an
Are
adjustment
you
period.
are you ever sitting at the dinner table realizing that you're interviewing Lex?
No, she kill me.
So tell me, how did you apply your makeup today?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll murder me. She'll pick that up real fast.
You get that corporate speak out of here, sheep.
It takes us both a little while, like when we get off work at the same time, to like turn off our
Yeah,
customer voices. You know what I mean? Yeah.
totally. Yeah. But dude, it's like after a convention, I'm on, like on socially, I'm on for a day and a half. Where like I can't go out in public because I yell at everybody friendly things. Hey, how's it going? Hey man, how's your day going? You know, it's just like you realize it's like, oh, see, at a show it's expected, but out in public, you're just kind of creeping
Yeah.
people out.
I'm just like way too nice right now.
Yeah. Oh, tone down the optimism.
And you're in
Beautiful
Canada,
day,
this
isn't
is a
it?
lot.
Yeah, totally. Right now you're acting real suburban. You need to like dial it up to Toronto attitude, you know. I went and I checked out like co-working artist space earlier this week, and it's super cool. I've got the bug to try to get in there. It's they got some heavy hitters that all pay like to go in there every week or whatever. So it'd be a good creative atmosphere.
That's
Pretty
cool.
What
Yeah.
kind of stuff does everyone else in there do?
So it's called Raid Studios. So they've got people that like I believe, and like, you know, whatever, probably wrong, but I believe that Chip Zdarsky is one of the co-founders with Ramon Perez. And so they're like these guys that all have like deep roots in indie. They're all like super Canadian, and they travel heavy to conventions. Like when I first started hearing about them, they felt very like legendary to me. So to go check out what the space was, like it'd be a 2-hour commute for me, but I think that what I would gain in networking would be invaluable. But they're all like super talented indie creators, and like some people are on major projects, some people are doing their own thing but are very successful at it. So it's kind of like the like lesser known comics in real life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like by becoming a member at this place, you have like access to their boardroom and stuff. So like you could actually do, you know, interviews with like a cool background and stuff, not just a Vicus and, you know, some comics.
So
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, stay up. I'll
Fancy.
keep everybody updated, but yeah, just
That'd be cool
this
to have
comic book game is.
you know, Brandon DePillis and Jeff
Yeah.
Lemires, them, like they have a
I know
little
what you're talking about.
community up there. And I love them so much. It turns out our friend Mergo just moved up there and joined their little clique, and that makes me so happy because they moved up there, and like I know that they don't know anyone, so it's really cool that they already have a comic book tribe to just hop right in with.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And like here in Winchester, it's really just like me, and I have a really good shop where I have, you know, Angie is a comic creator, but you know, we're not on the frequent hangs or anything, so it's kind of just me up here, which is interesting.
But
with
Angie
Max.
just did a project for you, right?
Yeah, she did Lex's first story in This Comic Goes Fascist, so that was pretty sweet. And then she's gonna probably be doing some books with us, it looks like, so we're working with her on that. She has a project she's working on that's pretty sweet.
You
I
making
can't
dreams
wait to
come
see
true.
it.
Yeah. Mike, you said you're based out of Colorado?
Yeah, for now.
Nice. I don't know if I know too many. It's crazy you would
I don't
think,
really
but I
plan
don't know
on
too many
staying
Colorado.
here.
Yeah, I bet.
What would be your next destination?
I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it because I'm broke as shit right now, working at Hobby Lobby, and that's fun.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Probably some decent discounts, but that's like you're like, well, I hate this otherwise. Like these people.
Yeah.
Is it like cool hobby stuff like sick brushes, or is it like Michaels or White Rose? No hate on Michaels.
It's kind of like that. The hobby stuff is actually getting smaller and smaller, like each day, because it used to be a lot of cool stuff that was mainly just hobbies, but now it's like really poorly put together furniture and home decor. And also they have art there, like art you can hang on the wall, and about 75% of it now is AI art.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, let me know when those Kolinsky brushes go on sale. I'll fight some terrorists to get them brushes.
Also, like, small town life is just kind of like difficult. Like, I've never really had to deal with that, and I don't know what to make of it. Because like
Too slow?
there was this. No, it's just there's this one girl that was at work, and she hit on me, but like not in like a hit on me kind of a way. It was she introduced me to her mother just out of nowhere. Like, she had never spoken to me, shown interest or anything, not even asked my favorite color. And out of nowhere, she was just like, "This is my mom." And I was like, "Hey." And then I turned around and walked off because I was doing a bunch of stuff. And then I never thought about it. And it wasn't until a week later that I realized what she was doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and then I'm the guy that's just like, yeah, you want to meet the whole family? Sure. Let's see everybody. I come from a whole cast of weirdos. But that's because I grew up in a small town, so, you know.
Yeah, I kind of, like, I grew up in the house pretty much for like 17 years. And then I went from that to New York City to New Orleans, which are two of the biggest metropolitan areas
That's cool.
in America. And then I went from that to a small town. So I came from a place of putting the past behind me and trying to find out who I am. And like a lot of people here kind of feel like they're a little, I don't know, like they're kind of sad about some stuff. Like they don't want to be doing it. They don't like their families. Like, they just feel like, I'm stuck here, and if I leave, the demons will get me. And that was honestly what inspired Mouse Man. Above all else is, it's just, oh my god. I mean, I've met some cool people out here, but like, I don't know, it just kind of feels off. Like, small towns are great, but have you ever been to Pueblo, Colorado?
No. I might have driven through it at one point, but no.
Yeah, back in the day, I played hockey in Colorado for a little tournament, but that was years ago. That was the big time.
There's this lady out here who's homeless that goes around with a baby stroller with a Chucky doll in it, talking to herself like a Stephen King book.
Sounds like
I'm not making that up.
Right? Yeah.
You know, here's a kind of a cool thing is, like, whether people know or not that are watching, like, there's a lot of transplants, like, in this conversation. Like, I think each one of you have gone through some pretty incredible, like, moves, like legit like cross country, right? Like
Oh yeah.
Canada, I feel like
Yeah.
there's something like there's not a lot of like I'm going from Nova Scotia to Alberta. Like there's a lot of it, but we've got like a smaller population, right? So like for me to think about like, yeah, maybe I'll move my family somewhere one day, but like it's a harder leap to think about making. But I feel like you guys, you're like, oh, I moved from Texas to Kansas, and you're like, damn, that's like a jump.
Well,
Yeah.
Southern California to an island in Alaska is quite the jump.
Max, you're a folk song.
What?
You're a folk song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, dude.
Like,
Yeah.
Like literally, I couldn't even drive back home if I wanted to. I literally have to get on a ferry in order to get to mainland U.S. or a plane. But you know,
you're of Monsters and Men like album.
yeah, it's like okay, time to go on a road trip, and it's like an hour to the other side of the island. It's like, all right, that was fun.
What's here? Mosquitoes.
Swamp is what the real answer is. Muskegs, man.
And then Jay, you've moved a couple times really big, right? Unless you're on witness
Yeah.
protection, you don't have to say that anything.
Can't divulge, but yeah, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and now North Carolina.
Ooh.
Man.
You heading up to Buffalo? Like, what's going on?
Maybe might end up there. Who knows?
No, Niagara Falls.
Buffalo's
is
pretty
beautiful.
dope. I like Buffalo, man.
Buffalo's cool, man. Buffalo,
Yeah.
Buffalo has more than you think and not as much as you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right? Exactly, dude.
But yeah, it's just like there's, the crazy thing, and I always come back to this about like touring, especially like in the States, is that like you really forget how old some places are, and like maybe when you live there, you never really like realize it, but like when you see architecture and this brickwork that's like older than every city around you, or like that's got like these crazy roots to like Civil War and stuff, like you guys have some very cool architecture. So I always like taking that stuff in when I go to a different city.
Yeah, dude, for reals. Oh, Reese also said, come to New York. I'll introduce you to the TMNTs, dude, for reals. Life on Saturn continued with, hell yeah, I agree with Reese. We go meet up and grab a slice. Yeah, honestly, we gotta, I'm gonna be there end of April. We can be super hype. It's super great seeing all these creators in person too. Like, Jay, like seeing you at Heroes for that little bit of time was super
That was
exciting.
awesome. That was so cool.
It just like adds to like the community aspect of what we do, and it makes it more, I don't know. It's like when you get a comic printed versus just making it. You're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
it exists. You're here. Like,
Totally.
this is
Right.
exciting.
It's like meeting someone for the first time and having them take advantage of your low vision by sneaking up from behind you.
Yeah.
Seems specific, doesn't it,
And
Brandon?
And then secretly filmed, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was funny,
That's what
man.
I do. Yeah, honestly, like hanging out with Doug at cons is probably some of the best times I've had at conventions. Like, learned a lot. That's what was fun about conning together, is that we developed a lot of systems that I've tried to teach other people too.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, man. Workshopping and figuring out like how, because this thing is like the art is half the battle, right? Like literally, the art is half the battle, because moving the books becomes that next thing. And like, I don't claim to be an expert on any level, but I do know now like how to engage people and like how to keep it friendly, and again, and work against barriers too. Like for me, the way that my vision works is like when you're not within 6 feet, you're a completely different human. I could meet Brandon 6 times, and if it's all from different angles, I'll never know. But like, playing it off and just being like, oh man, if I already talked to you, just tell me you already talked to me. Like you don't have to be weird because I said hi to you friendly again. Like
Yeah.
but showing up and being like, oh, here's the cost of my product, or like, things like stand and deliver, like when you're at a show, stand up and engage people and show them that like you're here because they're fans. And I don't know, it's just like there's all these little things, and every show you learn one new thing. and like even what to sell, what to travel with. Like I think I'm finally at a point where I realize I don't need to bring 40 of every book to every show that I go to. You know?
Yeah, I feel I know. I'm
Planning is
actually.
huge.
Yeah,
Sorry.
dude. Yeah, it really is. No, you're completely right. But if you're just sitting the whole time, you're really not going to gain traction. Like, and I get there's the people that want to like draw and work on stuff, but you really got to be up and active if you want to make sales.
Well, even
Yeah.
like even drawing, like I got one of those cheesy little Amazon stools, the 3D printed things, and like I just set it up on my table so I can stand and draw. And when people realize that you're just acting like the monkey with the organ grinder, like then it gives them a reason to engage with you. And when you can talk and draw and they realize that you can breathe and communicate at the same time, then it makes it like this really cool experience. And then, if you get commissioned, you can work and still engage, but like otherwise, like if you're not doing anything, just engage. Like you're there because especially like fan-based events, like everybody's just a fan of something and you don't know if you don't ask them. Like what's one of the things that like we all do when we're together is like, what are you a fan of? Well, pretty much everything is like it's either that or manga, like those are your answers. And so like when someone's like pretty much anything or pretty much everything, you're like, well, check this out. Between Apollo City, Lesser Known Comics, and Cross-Eye Comics, there's literally like, you
Everything.
want like there's everything. You want kung fu fighting mythological creatures, we got that. You want vampires that work at malls, we got that. Like it's crazy, like the diversity that you get, and being able to offer that to people and speak knowledgeably about your friends' artwork and stuff is a really cool thing. But it's all the art of the sales, like I feel like Max has probably had some really cool experiences working different types of markets for like different demographics now too. Like that's invaluable knowledge.
Yeah, most of what I make now is fish stuff, dude.
Those look awesome,
Like-
by the way.
Like the band?
Yeah.
No, like fish.
No, I know.
Salmon.
I'm on full dad joke mode.
It's crazy, man. It's really awesome because it's not just me getting to draw fish and then be like, cool, I get to make a ton of money off people who like fish,
Mhm.
It's like during the summer season, I'm like actively involved in all of this stuff,
Mhm.
I'm going out, I'm seeing the fish, I'm catching the fish, I'm eating the fish, I'm having like this whole experience with it that I can then translate into the art. And
I was thinking of that too.
It's super foreign to me, like
Yeah, but how good have your fish gotten?
I've yet to catch a salmon because last year I wasn't able to have a resident license. But was catching rockfish that were pretty damn good. And then the weirdest thing that I've caught is a ratfish, which is essentially like a prehistoric shark that's real small.
That's cool.
That thing's crazy.
Have you seen the doomsday fish?
I don't think so.
It's I watched this thing recently. They're like these crazy like deep ocean serpent things that like wash up
oarfish.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
And they wash up pre-cataclysmic event, and then like a tsunami will hit, but it's because I guess they think when the tectonic plates shift, they're so deep that they die and float up.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oarfish are really, really cool. They're also very, very rare fish, rarely ever seen in the wild.
Unless there's a cataclysmic event that's about to happen.
Sure, yeah.
So if you see one, run.
Just walk the other way. Don't sit there and admire it. Don't wait for the sirens to hit.
Leave.
Pack your family up and don't be part of the next Disney movie.
Yeah.
You know why you don't see Doug Knight on So I Survived? Because I got out of there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What was your indicator? I don't like the way you look, man. I just got up and left. I didn't need to see Taylor Swift that bad.
I forgot to say, Adam Matthew Smith said, got some fellow left-handers in here. Who else a lefty besides me?
That's me.
Oh, this
I
guy.
have my camera flipped, so I'm actually a lefty.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
No,
Love
I'm
that.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Aw.
What's up, Adam?
Um,
Oh, I saw this dude Andrew Thomas is a letterer, an artist up in Canada here, and he was just at a West Coast show. And he got to do a sketch of Napoleon Dynamite for John Heater,
oh, no way. That's
Cool.
great.
and then other random fact or story or whatever. Did you? So John Heater and Pedro are twins. Did you know this?
No.
And apparently, their twins met each other at Costco one day and didn't know that they were shopping at that same Costco. So people saw them interacting and thought that it was Napoleon and Pedro, like out and about, like shopping.
Oh, it was each of their twins. The
Yeah.
other twin. That's awesome.
Oh, wow. It's insane. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were implying that they're twins to each other. I didn't realize. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. This is amazing. I didn't know that.
What
Super wild.
a good day to have been getting Costco hot dogs.
Right? See,
I'll
that'd
be
be a
right.
trip, but
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll be right back. I gotta go get my door.
oh, you're good. You're good. By all means, my dude.
Mike Sears DoorDashing some tacos.
Right? That sounds good right now, actually.
I had tacos for dinner.
I had
I ain't
tacos
even
yesterday,
gonna
actually.
lie. The universal truth tacos.
The ultimate.
Oh man, so earlier this week I was inking a zine or a little strip, and I was all stoked. I was happy with how it went, and used a brush pen. I was like, yeah. I started watercoloring and realized that it is not water soluble.
Oh,
So
man.
I started like bleeding on my stuff, and I had to like manipulate and manage the bleed really carefully and stuff. And then I gave myself crap because had I just used my beautiful number 2 in the first place, I would not have had any issues. But lesson learned: read your inks before you use them.
Learn.
Yep.
What are some of the biggest artistic lessons you've learned with stuff? Like watercolor. I'm messing with watercolor. In fact, I think I got the same little box kit that you got, Doug. Some
The Winsor
watercolor
Newton
pen.
one.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah,
of
man.
fun.
I would say that one of the lessons that I hate that I've learned, like at this point, is that like it kind of does matter what materials you're using. Like some of the like mediums that you choose, like if you buy better paint, you fight with it less. And so when you get into those like high tier watercolor like palettes and stuff, it does add up. But you fight with it so much less when you're trying to like learn certain techniques and things.
Oh, really?
I think that artistically, forgiving yourself if it's not exactly how your brain interpreted it is a huge lesson to learn.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's like lesson 1.
Yeah. And knowing that like if you're better today than you were yesterday, then you're doing great. Stop comparing yourself to Van Gogh.
Very true. I just wanted watercolor lessons, but whatever, Just
I would say for real for watercolor, grab like a sheet of 300-pound cold press, so you can really beat it up with like oversaturation, and then also grab like another like grab a 90, a 140, and a 300, and then learn how to manage your water based off of like the paper density, and then that'll make it a lot easier to manage your flow and stuff in the future on other stuff like sketch cover and all that kind of jazz. So like learning how to work on your substrate is a really useful tool for just like developing like general and mechanical knowledge. Because like with 300-pound, you can basically pour your cup out on it and then like just drop the paint and let it flow and splash around for a couple minutes while it figures out what it wants to do and where it settles. But then like, you know, a paper like I'm working on right now, a mixed media, where it's just like it's built to absorb and spread, but it also has like a level of non-forgiveness where, you know, I'm going to go to scan it and it's going to look like somebody put it on a wet bus floor and stomped on it. So product knowledge.
Typically what your art looks like, though.
Yeah, man.
Sad.
Low key, no shade.
Only
On
Doug I can
God.
make jokes like that with. Like, I would never say that to anyone else. I hope.
I know that like sometimes I'm more comfortable having people like just be like outright mean to me about it than like being like, you're so good. It just feels more comfortable having people be like slightly more awful than like complimentary.
I mean, I mean, all of us probably struggle with taking compliments. Do you, Max or Jay, feel like you struggle with accepting a compliment?
I'm great at it. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, we're married. Sometimes the compliment hits you like you're listening to speed rap. You're just like, what the hell was that?
Like, oh, that was nice.
I'm like the worst at accepting compliments of any sort.
I think more than anything, I don't get compliments as much as I go like, as much as I get like, wow, you should do tattoos.
Oh yeah,
That's a small town thing.
So that's a compliment. It's a good compliment from them.
I guess it's a compliment, but at the same time, it's like you don't know what the hell you're talking about, man.
yeah, it's rough.
But they're reaching into what they know.
That's it. And that's totally what a good point, because that's, you know, we're still not far from Ink Master and stuff, right? So people have the perception of edgy artwork being best suited for the body. But as somebody that, you know, has a like history of tattooing, like it's not an easy business. Like even if you're very good, it's like everything else. If you're an artist, you got to work for it. And you know, there's a lot of guys that are so talented with so many different styles of tattooing and artwork, but they get pigeonholed into doing a specific genre, right? And you know, like then you're locked into just doing neotrad or dot matrix black work, you know, like so it has its pitfalls.
Do you have a tattoo? Is there a tattoo style you do the most?
Yeah, I call it blind chic. No, what a good giggle. I like messing around with black and gray. Just set up a really cool like illustrative design, and then you know, dang old dragon or skull, snake, rose, you know.
Cool.
And then just making it cool, black and gray, nice and smooth. And you know, just that's kind of one of the things that like I had to like learn my limits and play within it at an early stage in tattooing. So it's, you know, I'm not gonna promise Tiffany a like you forever, love you for always at a 6-point font going around in a little infinity sign with black birds around it, because if I have to zoom in on that, it's not gonna be good, you know.
Yeah.
So learning how to say no was a tough lesson, but like literally watching dollars walk away from me because I said I don't want to screw it up forever for you, you know.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Like knowing your limits on some of that, you know what I mean? Like I know a lot of tattoo artists struggle with like the feedback people give them for that. Like they just give them crap, you know what I mean? You're like, no, I just don't want to do a bad job on your body. Like I know.
Come on, bro, but I trust you.
Yeah. Well, how are you gonna feel when I do mess it up? You know,
Yeah.
like
You want to know what changes a friendship quick. But you know, like I'd say one of the great lessons that it did teach me, or that I have taken away from it, is what permanence means. You know, like a tattoo is permanent until 6 months after the person's expired, and so like that person's walking around with the decision that they made to share with you until they're, either ash or under. And so like when it comes to making art on paper, it's just paper, it can burn, it can get wet and tear and whatever. Like the magic of doing it is the fact that we can redo it, so like it's cool being proud of it, but it's also important to understand that like something can happen to it. Don't get stressed, like just know that you've got the power to do it again. And like I get that a lot with like sketch covers when people like are looking at the stuff that I've got on display. They're so delicate, and I'm like, man, it means more to you than it does to me. Pick it up and connect with it. If you want to take it home, like I want you to see that it's like it's paper. I've done it. Like it's
Yeah,
just don't bend it, or I'll send you out of here sniffling. But
still get hands dirty. Yeah.
I've had a couple people go to like open the bag to like pull it out to realize, whoa, it ain't kind of that. It's not that kind of book, lady.
This is now a fine piece of art.
But I did an Optimus Prime for one of my son's best buddies, like the Optimus Prime sketch cover on Transformers or whatever. And then the other day, my son's like, "Yeah, he tells me that he picks it up and reads it all the time." I'm like, "Hey." I was like, and then I was excited because he's reading comics, right?
Yeah.
It's all like, like it's gonna like go to like sell it for rent money when he's older, or whatever. And he'd be like, well, maybe if you didn't pick it up and break the binding on it. Like,
any tips on selling sketch covers at cons? Because mine just sit there, and I like, unless somebody's like, a lot of people don't even know what sketch covers are. I find I kind of have to explain it, and I don't know. It's something I'm still getting used to.
It's kind of a mystery that I'm slowly unlocking. Like and like, so I'm gonna do my best not to like to gatekeep the stuff that I've learned. I think so far it's like finding what your sweet spot is on price point. Like, what are you willing to let something that you created go for, and then what is like too like not enough, so like for sure the first few sketch covers I sold were definitely underpriced, and like I had people that are very good sketch cover artists kind of chastise me for it. I'm glad that they did, because it allowed me to like stand a little bit more firm. But then you realize that like, some people are going to look at that like high price and be like, no chance, and then they're gonna like, but there is like a sweet spot. Like I found, like, especially for the majority of my comics, like when people see like 80 on it, they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, that's like good art, and that's a decent price, and so like if I do something new, like I've got like the Peter Parker swinging his kid, and the kid's got the Spider-Man mask, and Peter's upside down drinking a coffee and stuff. When I finished that, I was like, I love this. So I put it at like 150, because like if it sells, it's going to go to someone that realizes that it's worth that. But if it doesn't, I can take it around and tour it a little bit, right? But then when I get tired of it being like a feature, I'll just drop it to, 120. If it sells for 120, it sells for 120. If it goes, whatever. But like, I find that the older a sketch cover is, the less it owes me. And then I get to the point where I realize I'd rather it be on someone's wall than on my bookshelf. And so if I'm at a show and it's been a really good show, then I don't mind seeing like a 1.5-year sketch cover go for like $50 or something, But like, just kind of like looking at people, like sometimes there's a disconnect that shows too, where people are like, well, why is this so much? And you're like, because it's art, and they're like, well, but there's like this real comprehension, like breakdown. And I think that's just like finding that patience. It's like somebody who works at like an Indian food restaurant that has to explain every single item on the menu. Like you can be rude about it, or you can just have a smile on your face and say, I made this with love. It is hand painted. That is why the dollar value reflects the time that I put into it, and sometimes just doing that helps unlock the realization that they're like, oh, it's art,
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then if you want to keep them walking, just be like, oh yeah, I ran it through an AI printer.
Yeah, I think that's like a big thing is just like figuring out your market at cons and what cons work for you and how to navigate that. I think I've realized that like not every region is very receptive to what I do, but
Mm-hmm.
the areas that are, I'm like, oh, sweet, you guys get it. Like you vibe with it. Like I know this Comic Coast Fascist has been doing great, especially in my local area. Like because I'm near DC. You know what I mean? Like that's just the market. Like that makes sense, you know? Um and so just figuring out like well, I mean, when I was in Buffalo, the punk anthology sold like crazy. But then like
Yeah.
other books didn't move, you know, and just seeing what people are looking for in that place is kind of it's a learning curve and you kind of waste money and you experience stuff, but I guess that's just what you kind of got to do to figure out how to find that successful sweet spot because no one
I
else is
think,
gonna have those
yeah.
demographics for us.
I think separating yourself from the word waste is important because it's like when I was
That's
apprenticing
true.
and I was taking the bus every day and not making any money. Everybody pays for their education one way or another, right? So like
Yeah,
your student debt might just reflect hotel bills and air travel, but like you're learning that like maybe this market's not for you for next year,
yeah,
and so I think that like education plays a huge factor in everything. Um, and especially as I've really adopted the phrase independent professional over the last year because it's really what you are like until you make it or you get signed on or whatever, like you're full representation of yourself. You're the booking agent, you're the person that has to talk with the convention runners, you're the everything. And like it can be tiring, and like sometimes you're like, man, I need a personal assistant, and then you're like, you can't afford a personal assistant. Like,
yeah.
but it's learning. It's just, and it's being forgiving of like the hard lessons. Like nothing's worse than sitting around on a slow show day, feeling like you're failing, and then you like, that's the benefit of networking. You ask other people, how'd you do, and they're like, terrible. Like, oh, good, we all sucked. You
Yeah.
know, but and then you find out I did great. Oh, so whatever I was doing wasn't working. You know,
Yeah, it's knowing how to pivot constantly,
you know,
especially
yeah.
with
Change up,
anything.
change up the display. Like Jay, that's one of the things that works for me is like the more sketch covers I have now, I'll like I'll just change up what's on display because sometimes like people don't want to walk past the Venom, and sometimes people want to stop and look at a Joker, and sometimes people don't want to see Gambit, but they want to see Wolverine or Deadpool, or so it's like so you just put out something that you're proud of, and if nobody gets a look on it, then you just change it up and you go to the next thing. And I at TCC, so like recently I had I did a sketch cover of Daredevil driving Deadpool in a taxi, and I had that on display utilizing lampstands and the beautiful products TM, and so I had that on display,
Oh
and beside
shit.
it was a Venom portrait that I did, and a woman walks up with her, I presume, daughter. And they stop and they look and they said, "Oh, so and so likes Deadpool and Daredevil, and the other one likes Venom." And I did like a real slow lean over my table, and they're like, "Oh, I know. That's why I stopped." And it was my first sale on the day, and they just walked away with 2 sketch covers. You're just like, how do I get lucky? And you're like, it's not luck. You realize that you've just done the thing to make yourself noticeable. And
Yeah.
the day before, like I had that Daredevil cover, or the Deadpool cover, like on the rack, and people were walking by and not seeing it. So it's just like lightning strikes, but it's also just like just figuring out where to put it.
Mm.
Another cool thing that I've learned is like how to display the books is like instead of just having them facing flat out, catch them on angles, like on like a 30-degree angle or whatever. So as people walk by, it catches them so they can linger on it. So then you're not like a passing glance, you're like an attracting factor.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
It's
I display all my stuff in old luggage, which is really cool because it packs away right back into that old luggage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like 70s era briefcases and like trunks and like things like that. Because then I can just open them up and put them in there super, super easy. And then it's something, your display is actually like visually interesting to look at in addition to whatever is in that display.
It's got texture to it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's kind of like you're selling punk merchandise out of, whatever. Like, I see that all the time.
I feel like everything smells like bowling shoes.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it kind of adds to it too,
Totally.
Like everybody's into like retro vintage, right? And so
you got to think about
comic and it smells like moldy paper and they're like, yes.
You're your own little pop-up shop, you gotta sell yourself in that sense too, of like, this is my little store, I'm a business, like these are my products and my offerings, and you have to kind of rearrange your window every so while. It's also like it's right place, right time type of thing too sometimes. It's a big fact. It's like, I talked to a classroom the other day and that was like, I know people hate hearing this, but like a lot of it's just luck, a lot of it's just right place, right time, like right thing out. You heard the right conversation go by you.
But sometimes people smell experience, right? Like, so like when you look nervous because you haven't made a sale or whatever, people pick up on that and they don't want to play that carnival game, but like if you're there, and like an incredible lesson that I learned from Mark was like, it's okay to beg and board during VIP hour because nobody's there for you, so just take your time and get into the flow of the day, and then the first person that you call over, it's because you've said hi to a couple people and like you've just kind of prepped yourself for that first interaction and gotten yourself ready, right? I'll be right back, guys. Some rude coffee maker just turned off.
Yeah, you gotta. I forgot what I was saying. Sorry, I got distracted.
Y'all's pictures are looking great, by the way. Everybody's.
Thank you, man. Jay, that piece is clean as hell.
I'm gonna zoom in on my screen now and take a look at everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
What the hell? First thing I saw was
Max is sick.
My wrist. Yo. Jay's killing it.
Still gotta finish last week's piece. I never finished that.
I got orange. I got orange on my image because I had it on my eraser for some. I guess that's paint. That's awesome.
Brandon, were you at Four Colors while Eric was unboxing all the sweet covers that have come in?
Oh no, I wasn't there during that time. Yeah, but no, dude, they got some amazing stuff for that auction going on right now, dude. It's so great because they raise it for it's like a literacy program here in Winchester, and I think it's just such a good cause.
Yeah, what a cool chance for like to get like international and stuff. Like I sent, I don't know if I sent 3 or 5 books, but like when the opportunity came, like you told me about it last year, I was like, yeah, man, bring me sketch covers, and like it was a cool way to get more sketch covers because I'm a hoarder, but at the same time, like to produce stuff and send it out, like I'm all about supporting a good cause. So it was cool. I was excited. And then like the buzzer beater, as like my friend Fel, she sent some books in. I was talking I was talking to her and I was just like, when'd you send your books in? She's like, oh, like sent it out like beginning of January. It's like, oh damn. So I messaged Eric like, what's the deadline? He's like, like end of March. I was like, okay, cool, I got time. And then I got to like March 23rd. I'm like, oh, I gotta expedite this. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, dude. They have almost 200 books this year. Maybe they hit 200. They were like at 187 last time I did talk to him about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
there's some cool. I love seeing a good cover, like a good like an off-brand. Like I've seen a couple Popeyes. I got to get my hands on one of them. That Ultimate Adam West was sick that I saw. Absolute Adam West.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, Reese just asked a little while ago. So do y'all draw on your sketch covers before the show or during them put them on display?
Oh, both. Both. I love it. I like kind of prepping like a couple, maybe like 3 to 5 bangers that I think are gonna get like real big attention. And then at the show, I'll pick like a popular title and work on it. But TCC, I worked on I did a couple. I did one. I had a Turtles cover, so I turned that into like Ninja Turtles, Ben Grimm, the Thing kind of vibe, um, and uh, and that was really good. That got a lot of looks. And then I did a live painting thing where I painted a Gargoyles cover. Um, so I think just being fluid with it. I think just like showing people that like there's not enough, like you can't do enough work. You know, kind of. It's cool. It's good for the mythos.
Like that.
I remember so many people that I talked to from like, back in the day, they're like, oh, you're like that kind of kid that looked too close to everything that like was always drawing. I'm like, oh, no, I'm still him.
That's and like prepping sketch covers and like, the themes we do on the show to do stuff like that, like it's really just to challenge you and be like, oh, would you have drawn this no matter what,
Yeah,
Um, so I always love
for
that
sure.
aspect of it.
I think since this is a Comics Wellspring show, I'm going to shout out the fact that like looking into different ways of advertising and stuff and drawing visibility to your product is really important. And like stuff like, tablecloths, like people are always looking down at their phones, so like having cool looking like table runners and stuff so that, giant letters get their attention and they look up. Like I've caught in a few people before where it's just like they're looking at their phone, now they're looking at you. And if you can greet them with like a smile because your advertising got them, then that's like a super utilizable thing. Um, yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, honestly, tablecloth banners go a long way to, and it really does make a difference. It helps define your brand, like, and that's what it's all about. You want to define your brand when you're at a con, so people can recognize
Hmm.
you and catch you. Like, not enough people think of it as, oh, I'm a shop. I'm here to show my wares. And that's why some
Yeah.
of these, other people like that are do dice and all this stuff, they get success and they draw people in because they have attractive looking booths. Like you're like, oh, what is this
Hmm.
crazy looking thing over here? Like, I know it's a pain to load and unload, but hey, like if you're trying to make something out of it, you got to make something out of it. I mean, look at Dan Price, Bigfoot Knows Karate. You know what I mean? Like that
Hmm.
dude has his wrestling belt out. He's like interacting with people. There's so many things there. We lost Jay for just a second. I'm gonna let him set up his camera before I toss him back in.
Yeah, the self representation it's like you have to double down on it because it's like when you figure out like traveling is stressful, flying is stressful. So figuring out like how to minimize the amount of stuff that you travel with is important. And like, you know, doing stuff like calling or like contacting showrunners to see if you've got, pipe and drape that you can hang a vinyl banner off so you don't have to bring a whole banner stand, like um
Mm-hmm.
there's little things that you can do to enhance your experience, that make it easier. Because like if you can roll up a vinyl banner, then you don't have to travel with like the extra 12 pounds of frame. And that allows you to bring maybe like 17 more books. Like it's just these all these little tiny details that you know and then the other thing that I find myself doing now is like I like display judge, where it's like it's never anything negative, but it's just like I always like am fascinated, even if it's like just a major retailer. Like I know what kind of banner casing that is, like
Oh yeah, it's like when you're a musician and you're looking at like what pedals and like gear people are using. Like that's you got to see
yeah.
what else is out there.
Sorry, I dropped off. I guess my phone got unplugged and ran out of battery.
Oh, no worries, no worries. It happens.
One of the hazards of being in construction is that dust gets into like all the ports of my everything. So like I'm so glad that we're in the generation of MagSafe charging now, because nothing charges in my house that belongs to me.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
And mid-May. I'm going away, taking my wife for our 10-year anniversary. And like, it's the least stressed that I've been about packing to travel in the last 3 years.
Oh, I bet.
I'm just going with like my carry-on with like I was planning it out. We went out for lunch the other day, and I'm planning it out, and I'm just like, now I have just enough room for like a little sketchbook, but I wanted to really emphasize that like I'm not going to bring like a whole rig to like set up and work with.
Art Victim just said, love the show so far, guys. Good talk. Been working and lurking. Props and all the work. Oh, thank you so much, Reggie.
Yo, props to the good writing. I appreciate the verbiage there.
Yeah.
Working and lurking. That's from the creator.
Yeah,
of
right.
Ghost
That
and
caught my
Toast.
attention. Got my attention right away with that.
And like, kudos to you, Brandon, because you've done a lot of work to grow this baby into something that actually gets people out and engaging. Like,
It trips me out.
it's, have you been getting like people reaching out to you and saying, "Oh man, X, Y, and Z," and you're like, "Oh, I don't deserve this," or are you like,
Oh,
"Yes, give me
always.
all of the ululations"?
Oh no, I always get bashful when I get. I mean, just like for any compliments for anything, for meeting people at IC3, like I get like when people talk about the show or anything, it really warms my heart that people watch it and tune in. But it trips me out because I just feel like I'm so scared when I do the show every week. You know what I mean? Like Ask Lex
Yeah,
every week, I'm just
that
like
means you
I
love
don't
it.
know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm
Yeah,
terrified and how is this gonna happen? Like I don't know what I'm drawing. Like it's gonna suck today, and then I'm just like, well, I'm here now. We're doing it, and it's happening, and the show's going on. So, but it's great. I love the community, and honestly, people like anyone who wants to come on the show is more than welcome. Like I'm always looking for guests. Then if not, I'm just gonna have the same 4 people on, which I'm cool with too. I love hanging out with people like you and Dom and like who else, Javi and everyone, But I'm always looking for guests and always looking to grow the show in some way.
I've
I
had
told
like
my buddy. Oh, sorry.
no, you go. I've talked a lot.
I was going to say I told my buddy Billy, who's
Oh,
written
Billy
some of my
Dixon.
comics. Yeah, I told him he needs to come
Oh
on the
yeah,
show when he does his.
dude, I would love to have him
He's
on.
gonna have a Kickstarter in a few months. So I said you need to hit up Brandon Bloxdorf. Get on Spilled
I
Ink.
bought his book because I thought
Oh
it was
yeah,
so Grant Morrissey looking, Like I love his stuff.
yeah. He's making some really cool stuff.
Mugen Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
last one, and then he's got one coming up. I'm trying to remember the title. A whole different thing, whole different look. It's cool.
That's great.
I was gonna jump in and say like I've had like a few, like we're talking like 3-4 interactions now where like someone's walked up to my table and they've got like a knowing look, and like the interaction is just like, "Oh hey man, how's it going?" And it's like, good. I saw you're gonna be here on your Instagram and I wanted to come check it out. It's like, whoa,
Yeah, that's true.
reach, like it's very cool.
Well, at 4 Color Fantasies last year, I gave away some posters for a raffle from when I did, I think, Free Comic Book Day or something. And gosh, this is way darker than I thought it was going to be. Like a more vibrant pink. And they came over and they just wanted me to sign their poster. Like they saved it and were waiting to see me. Like this is the craziest moment ever. Like ever.
Yeah.
It's insane. We waited like 30 minutes because I went to go get lunch or something, and they came back and they were there, and I was like, "What? Thank you."
No, not Michael. Mike.
The boys.
I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Damn. I had a point. Oh yeah, Brandon, watercolor.
Oh yeah, sure.
If you're like super unsatisfied with how that paint looks when you drop, have clean paper towel on hand so you can just dab it off. And there's like a little window of forgiveness that you can work with there.
I gotta show you the piece I did watercoloring. I'm doing a cover for Skullhead, and it's coming along for sure. It's a work in progress.
Good. And the more life that your paper still has, the more like mixed media you can get into it. So you can go over top of it with like a pencil crayon or, stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's lots of little things. But if it's like if the paper's beaten up, then like, then you'll tear it up real easy and be like, what do I do?
Dude, this CWS blue line paper is holding up pretty well against all this watercolor I'm throwing at it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was
Nice.
a little nervous, but dude, I'll send you a picture of how much I've done, and I've gone like I'm new, like I'm watercoloring for the first time, so I'm
Yeah.
putting too much of something on there. But yeah, it's pretty sweet, dude. This blue line paper is impressing me. I can't wait for more people to like start sending in the reviews. I'm really hyped
Hey man,
on how it's sold.
send me a little comp pack. Let me put it to the test. Come on now.
I mean, I have some to comp you actually to make a video and everything. So
Hey,
I just gotta
let's
send
go.
stuff to Canada. We're working on a Kickstarter. We'll exchange some stuff soon. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. I don't have enough coffee. May keep brain farting.
Where we at? We're at 146 guys. We're actually almost done for the night. This is like
Shoo.
really blasted through this. I'm actually coloring real fast right now, which is a lot of fun. So that's cool. I have these markers that Javi gave me. They're called CaliArt. Have you guys
I've heard of them.
CaliArt?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are they water based or acrylic or what are they?
I have probably alcohol. I think they're alcohol markers.
Yeah, he just gave them to me. I know nothing. It doesn't even say on it. They just say fine and broad. That's it.
Okay. Let me see them. That's an alcohol marker.
Alcohol marker?
Yep.
Max, you're better than me. I was going to tell him to lick it.
Oh, I have those. I've got those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool so far. I chose the wrong color when I started this HyperForce part, so it's a little dark, but whatever.
I've been loving these little Stabilos.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
They're like they're more like a highlighter than anything else, actually. But they also just have like a black original marker.
But that kind of fits with like some of your like neon sensibilities because you've got a very cool understanding of like the like obnoxious pastels and stuff.
Yeah, or just like because 90% of what I do is black and white, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to throw like a really bright color on there is really helps to make it pop. And also like I really like the transparency that you get from like a highlighter,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really want to try. There's OLOs or OLOs or whatever. I really want to give them a shot, but like every other marker, they're $9,000 a piece.
The Stabilos are pretty cheap, relatively, I guess.
Below. Before I guess we wrap, I'll tell you one of the ways that I learned how to watercolor paint was by the tattoo industry standard of spit shading. And that's like literally you got a spit brush and a paintbrush, and instead of a cup of water, you just have a big you just keep the spit brush in your mouth the whole time, and so you lay that down for your wets, and then you learn how to work your paper with that. And so like once in a while you're too tired or whatever, you put the paintbrush in your mouth, you get like ink and shit everywhere. But it's kind of an interesting way of like learning how to work with an unconventional water base. And then it's also funny when like a Jasmine or somebody picks up like a painting of a bird. It's like, this is beautiful, and you'd be like, it's just covered in spit, lady, put that down. But it's a really cool technique just to kind of mess around with. Like, no, it doesn't serve any practical purposes, and I don't think it's COVID friendly, but it's fun.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, just spit everywhere. It's hilarious.
Why does your whole sketchbook just stink like gob?
Yeah, right. Jeez.
So, Jay, how much is left on your Kickstarter, dude?
Let's see. Adam's in the chat. He'd know faster than I would. Let me look it up.
And introducing our new segment, Ask the Writer.
Right. It just launched, so it's still pretty fresh. We're only a weekend, almost a week and a half in, so we have like 3 weeks left. Um,
Amazing.
I'm super hyped because when we started the stream, we are only 200 away from goal. So I'm hoping to break it by tonight or this weekend at least. Like,
Wicked.
um,
1316.
okay, yeah. So where we're at. So everyone watching, you guys should just go back this real fast.
Amazing.
Like,
Do you hyper? Look at this. Look at this cover, everyone. Look at that J Red cover right there. So dope. So dope.
I backed it. I'm a super backer.
you are a super backer.
I am a super backer. You know what? Like sometimes, like we back each other's campaigns, and it feels like you're passing around the same like $10 bill. But like it all goes so far just to like boost the backer count and like show each other that like you love one another. Like the people that like
for
you
sure.
tend to you jump on like it's so cool. Every time I see a homie jump on it, it just makes me feel like I'm still not disappointing the people that matter.
That was disappointing.
But yeah, so and the same thing. Like I've got 30 days left, and I'm like 70% funded. So like I'm not stressed. I've got a lot of really cool media set up for the next few weeks. So I'm not sleeping on it and just waiting for that like lull to settle in. Like I'm gonna be proactive this entire time. And like even you gain 2-3 backers a day, it's better than nothing. And
Oh, dude, honestly, I aim for a backer a day. That's what it takes. You know what I mean? Like just knowing, like, okay, I got one person today. That's
yeah.
a stride. Like.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and if I may, if anybody watching goes and just punches in cross-eye, you're gonna see a little character giving you and that's my campaign. Go check it out. I got some cool stuff going on. And then as soon as I hit every 30 backers, I'm gonna toss in a random sketch cover that somebody's gonna get. Whether it's something that's already done or something that I do while the campaign's going on or whatever. But it's just kind of my bonus incentive for getting people over there, on top of getting books to kids in hospitals and telling stories about my life and skas and zombies and
Yeah, we're gonna get Jay to do that. We'll have him do like 10 sketch covers, and he's gonna toss them in the orders.
I'm gonna do them all with Q-tip only.
There you go, yeah.
what a good callback. Comedy.
But yeah, no, I love what right now CWS is focusing on Kickstarters and our newsletters. So you guys should subscribe to our newsletters to get some Kickstarter advice. And if you're not part of our broadcast channel on Instagram, jump in that, because I'm pulling information from creators, putting them in our newsletters to share the knowledge, share the wealth. I want everybody to have the best practices and ideas on how to do things. So that's my big mission at the moment. Pretty hyped about that happening.
Comics
really
is a
trying to give the
business, man.
creators a voice. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's been quite the night. So let me do some recaps on everyone's art real fast. We got some pretty insane stuff going on here. Let's jump into Jay. Dude, Jay, that looks so sick.
I'll see you in a minute. Okay.
Man,
It's
there's like
so clean,
laser
man.
blasts, like awesome. Yeah, so clean.
Thank you.
Man, I love that. Whoa.
We'll have to do something with this for the Kickstarter, maybe.
Good.
Some
That's
kinda-
to my buddy Jay's artwork. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Art Vision said, I just like the HyperForce 2 video. It was pretty cool. I'll try to follow everyone. Yeah, definitely. Please check it out. It's a wonderful book. And these all look great. Thank you so much, Art Victim. But sweet, Jay, you want to give any shout outs where we could find you? Anything else you're up to? Incision? Is Incision coming back anytime soon? What's
Yeah,
status update?
I've got like 2 pages left for the interior art on issue 3, and then gotta get it colored and lettered, all that good stuff. And then I hope to launch a campaign for that later this year. And that
dude.
Go to jredcomics.com to learn more.
Nice. Oh yeah. Killer stuff, Jay, and it's always a pleasure having you on the show. I always just get talking to you, dude. It's always fun.
Yeah,
I really
this
appreciate
is
you
a
being here.
super fun.
Yeah, we always welcome back. Mike, you want to show us off what you've been drawing on a little bit?
Yeah. Okay, so with the new Mouse Man, I wanted to take out some of the like more edgier. I mean, it's still gonna be edgy, but I wanted to make it a bit more unique in its edginess.
Nice.
So in this one, it's pretty much you can buy time travel the same way you can buy drugs, and it's treated just the same, where it's illegal as fuck, but you can still get it. And it's essentially just how this guy named Eddie's life is just falling to shit because he's addicted to like going back and forth and trying to fix it, and he keeps fucking it up. It's like Groundhog's Day, but you're in a hell of your own making.
That's amazing.
You got a
I'm
beautiful
so
mind,
excited.
Mike.
Dude, yeah, honestly, like that's
That's
why I love Mouseman so much. Oh, dude,
And this
I
is the
love
first page.
Mouseman, dude.
That's awesome.
Mouse Man for me. Mouse Man always feels like how Adventure Time has to grow up in like the dystopian next level.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll show everyone Mouseman real fast here. Just check that out. Hell yeah. Oh man, that's so cool. That's so cute. That's so great. Yeah, I have a Mouseman comic right here in front of me, and people could see. So good, dude. Just talk about like cartoony work.
Consistency.
You know what I mean? Yeah, consistency. Like it is. This is a comic right here. Like this is prime comic reading and drawing, dude. It's like this is some Robert Crumb stuff. I love it so much.
Not to mention,
And
he
the
drew it
imagine
in 2.5 days.
wow, look at that. That's literally what Mike probably looked like after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so beautiful. Yeah, everyone check out Mouseman. Really hyped. Everyone check out Mike Sears art, I believe is your Instagram handle. It's tagged below as well. Doug, why don't you do your shoutouts?
Sure, I'll do my shoutouts. Currently on Kickstarter, Cross-Eye Comics 2025. I'm launching a couple trade paperbacks, as well as Apocalypse Now as a debut. Bear with me. I'll see if I can do this without making everybody want to be sick, but I'm working on the full wrap cover for Chiasm, Volume 1. So this is the big mob, the tumor monster that he's flying into. And then this is little D, all armored up, kind of like Weapon 8 style. So that's what I'm going with. It's going to be really fun. I'm going to paint it and marker it and turn it into one of them big old mixed media monsters. And then I'll put all the trade dress and stuff on it and make it spiffy. Yeah, so I've got Apocalypse Now, Chiasm Volume 1, Super Wicked White Cell Squadron, the White Cell Squadron coloring book with artwork by people in this chat. The initiative is to get books to kids in hospitals with the help of Comic Books for Kids out of Chicago, as well as all the hard work that I've done over the last couple of years. So it's kind of one of those multi-level campaigns that everything helps. And I don't do it to get rich off of it. I do it to get books out there. Profit comes from me working it. And so I'm just trying to hit the goals and enjoy the press tour that I'm on right now, because I've got some wicked shows coming up. I'll be back here next week, I believe. And I've got some other really cool events coming up. So that's it, man. You go check me out on Instagram, Cross-Eye Comics. It's where I do most of my stuff, and then I just cross post. If I'm not here, I'm working or being a family man, or just living la vida.
There you go. Love it, dude. Max, oh man, it's so sick, Max. Why don't you just give us your shout outs, Max?
Yeah, the Family Man Kickstarter ended today. So thank you so much to everybody who backed that and supported us. That was awesome. I believe that the regular book is still up for late pledges. So if you do want to nab it now that the Kickstarter is over, head on over there. You can still get it and get it with everybody else's orders. Other than that, tune in to Spilled Ink every week. We have a ton of fun drawing stuff on this show, and you should draw along with us and show us what you're doing.
Yeah, please, please, please. And next week,
That would be a
like
cool
Doug
thing.
said, yeah, I always encourage people to post their drawings. I always try to reshare them, and now I'll accept collaborator posts too. So knock that out. Yeah, next week we should have I think Jeff DeMars with Doug Knight here.
Nice.
And I haven't decided what we're gonna do because I'm gonna hijack the show and choose what we're gonna draw because my birthday.
Well, as long as it's Scott and zombies, I'll be there.
There you go. Love it. But yeah, guys. Actually, let me switch it over here now to whatever I'm doing. I'm just messing with these markers at this point. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the CWS Blue Line paper that's on sale now. I've been using it for all of our shows and some watercoloring. That's been a lot of fun. And stay tuned. Monday night, I'm interviewing Sam Cusick, the head of comics at Kickstarter. We're so hyped to be talking to Sam and getting all those Kickstarter secrets. So please tune in, come hang out, ask your Kickstarter questions. We'll be talking about so much. I'm so hyped about this interview. Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be here, you'll be here, and then we're going to be drawing Thursday night, and we're going to be announcing something super big at that interview. So come tune in to hear about the really exciting new CWS project that we're working on, that I've been working on with the team. So it's been super exciting.
I have one quick question.
What? One question.
Can I ask the question? Why don't you love me?
I think we know the answer to that, Doug.
Yeah, I know. It's my breath. It's all good. Okay, guys. Have a great night, everybody.
You too, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
Bye.
And yeah, there you go. Bam.